Hey friends, thanks for joining us for another episode of the Crank and Boom podcast. Last week we talked about finding your story, who you are, where you came from, and what led you to what you're doing with your business today. That's part of how we ended up in the New York Times. Publicity is just one of the pieces of your brand awareness pie, but it can be a very effective way for newspapers, magazines, digital news outlets, and even TV shows to find out about who you are and what you're doing. Those folks are always looking for stories, and you and your business might fit the bill for a local interest piece, a new business profile, or even an appearance on a podcast or a TV show. As always, we know that many of you are in the beginning stages of your business and may not be ready to hire a PR professional, but have no fear. We have some simple and very cost-effective ways that you can get some publicity out there without having to hire a publicist or spend a lot of money. I remember one of the first times that we were featured in a magazine, and I think it was for our recycling efforts in our restaurant. Our first article about our Thai restaurant was not even about Thai food. It was about recycling and composting. This was for local government. They had a little publication for waste management, and they did a little feature about our business because we were recycling, we were composting, we were using local farm ingredients in our food. We're using compostable takeout, which at the time was a little bit revolutionary because not everybody was doing that. So we were making a lot of efforts to live green and to be as sustainable as possible as a business. And there's a picture of me in a t-shirt and my cooking gear with my mom standing there with a pile of compost in our little compost bucket. And that was our very first feature. It's still in our office on our wall as just a proud moment. When you're trying to pitch a story to someone, there's a few aspects that have to be in your story that are going to make it interesting for a news outlet. And one of them is timeliness. Is there something going on in the news? For us, we love food holidays. So I think like National Ice Cream Day, National Chocolate Ice Cream Day, National Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day, all those things that are timely, all those things all fall in the category of timeliness. Those kind of go hand in hand, lining up with the calendar, and then also finding things that make sense with things that are going on right now. One of the lessons I've learned as an entrepreneur is celebrating. Taking time to intentionally honor your achievements and share them with others is a big part of what makes the whole journey worth it. And one of my favorite ways to do it is with food, of course. Goldbelly is our partner in how we deliver our ice cream to customers all over the U.S. so they can make their special moments even more special wherever they are. And whatever milestone you're celebrating with your friends and family, Goldbelly has just the thing. Whether you need Guy Fieri's trash can dessert nachos for Dad's birthday or Martha Stewart's famous banana pudding for your sister's baby shower, Goldbelly can ship it right to your door and make your event even more special. So if you haven't taken advantage of Goldbelly's amazing offerings, now's the time. Run over to their website at goldbelly.com and make your celebration unforgettable. Tao here, popping in to share my excitement about one of my favorite companies in the whole world, Holly Hill & Co. If you are like me and are obsessed with food, especially local food, you will appreciate those special ties that happen around the table. Holly Hill & Co. believes, like I do, that food creates connection and community unlike anything else. That's why they take care to strengthen the ties across the generations between family, the farmer, and the land, all the way to the food that ends up on your table. You can experience exactly what this means at one of Holly Hill's 9 unique Central Kentucky restaurants and through their beautiful emails. If you're in Kentucky, be sure to find the nearest location and get ready for an amazing experience with the most fantastic food. Holly Hill's co-founder is none other than my dear friend, James Beard-nominated chef Weta Michael, who's been a force on the Kentucky food scene for over 20 years. Learn more about their incredible food community by visiting hollyhillandco.com, where you'll find stories, recipes, how-tos, and even curated gifts. Again, that's hollyhillandco.com. and let them know that Tal from Crank and Boom sent you. I'm going to give you a few of my really high points on what I think is really important. Kind of a brief guide, PR 101. So I'm breaking this up into external relationships and internal relationships. So let's talk about external. That is your newspapers, your magazines, your digital creators, your TV, your radio, all the people that are in media in your own community. Make friends with those people and find out what sort of things they are looking for. When someone asks me to do something, the answer is almost always yes. Become someone who is on their yes list, respond quickly. Usually, when someone needs something, they're on a deadline. Get them the information that they need, either that's a release or information about your event, having photos ready to go for those folks, whatever they are looking for. If someone's doing a ice cream sandwich article, then I will dig through our archives and see what sort of photos I might have with ice cream sandwiches or whatever it may be. One of the first things I did was I had a lunch meeting with the editor of our local paper. That was one of the very first things I did when I came back to town. And I just had a lunch and said, "Hi, I'm doing this restaurant with my parents. I just wanted to say hello." So even if they don't need something from you, go find them and have a meeting with them. I always like to entice people with food. So if I was doing that now, I would say, "Can I treat you to some ice cream? And I'd love to talk to you about all the things that we're doing over here at Crank and Boom." So there are ways to get those meetings, get in front of people, build those relationships up. They will benefit you, no doubt. It's a two-way street. They are looking for content to fill in the pages of their publication or the minutes of their TV production. People are always looking for interesting things to fill up their time. So I think being able to basically be a solution for those news outlets, those media outlets, being that go-to person, if you can get to that place, it becomes a very beneficial position to be in. They don't have to go digging around for somebody or try to look for a contact, and they already have your contact information. You are more likely to be picked up in that story if it's relevant. So if you had a pre-written story, like what if I just did a story on myself? I would include photos and I would send out a press release hoping that somebody might pick it up and want to actually publish it because maybe it fills in a spot that they need, or it's something pretty easy for them to insert, edit a little bit. The story is already done. The facts are already checked. All that work is already done, so they can just go ahead and roll with the story and get it published, and then you've got a spot in whatever media telling your story. That would be an easy way to get started with that. With a press release, the most important things: who's your contact information, when is the release able to be released. Almost everything I do is for immediate release, and then you put whatever facts in there. I find it's the easiest to just put it in an email body, have a subject that says press release, what your title is, make it compelling so that they'll actually open it. And then have your story, have the facts. I always include quotes. So instead of somebody having to call me back to get a quote, the quote is already there. And I try to keep it as short as possible, unless you're doing like a whole feature article. You want to get people's attention. People do not have time to read 10 paragraphs about all the details. Like, make it short and sweet. There are plenty of templates of press releases online that you can find. And there's also other ways to send your news release out. If you don't have a publicist, you can use the newswire, or there's other mechanisms that you can send your press release across the country if you're not emailing people directly. When we do press releases locally, I have a media list that is always changing, and I just send that press release out to all the relevant people on that list. And I just send it out, and sometimes it'll get picked up and sometimes it doesn't. And then, of course, as we talk about very much on this podcast, get involved in your community. That could be as simple as donating a gift card. That was honestly the first way that we really got involved with our community because we didn't have the ability to really give anything, but we would donate a gift card, $20 to a silent auction here and there. There are always people looking for ways for businesses to get involved. So, however way you can give, be it your time, be it money, be it something in kind, give what you can, build those relationships. It is a nice way to present yourself in the community. I find that putting a gift card in a silent auction is one of the best ways to get in front of people's eyes so that they know that your business exists. And the cost of doing that is very minimal. So let's talk a little bit about internal relationship building. We've talked a lot about external, but really what I honestly think is equally, if not more important, is internal relationship building. I think building your own community, and that being customers, your team, different vendors that you work with, building those relationships up are just as important, if not more important, because those are the people who are going to go out there and be your advocate. It's nice to be included in media. I think building those deep down relationships with those people that you're interacting with all the time is also so very important because they're going to be the ones who are going to be coming back and patronizing your business. So making sure you have loyalty programs in place, making sure your team is happy and that they are taken care of and that you are doing whatever you can to help them on their journey, whatever they're up to, hosting VIP events or finding ways to really highlight and showcase and really celebrate the people who are your biggest fans. And those people are going to be your greatest advocates. And on that note, I think getting reviews and testimonials are also so important because people love word of mouth. And in a time where so much of our word of mouth is happening online, getting people who are going to vouch for you, people who will give reviews. We are very active in trying to get reviews and sharing those reviews with our team so that we are, doing our internal audit and making sure we are doing everything that we need to do to be the best business that we can. And finding those testimonials, putting them on your website, having that word of mouth is like nothing else. So making sure you are active in getting those and also publicizing it so that people can know about you. Publicity is a great, inexpensive way to get the word out to people in your community and beyond. If you start small, it's easy to grow your efforts as you begin to hone in on the outlets that your customers are engaging with. Don't forget, sometimes you are your own best publicist because of the enthusiasm, love, and knowledge you have behind what you're offering to the world, and it's going to shine through to others. So don't underestimate the power of good old word of mouth with your family, friends, and associates in your community to help spread the message of your business. Thank you so much for listening to the Crank and Boom podcast. If you want business advice and tactics like this every week, click that follow button wherever you listen to your podcast so you never miss an episode with us. Also, if you like what you heard today, it would mean so very much to me if you would leave us a review. That helps other people find us, and I would also love to hear more about what topics you'd like for us to dive into on the show. I can't wait to meet you here again soon. Until next time, peace!
This is a production of Four Eyes Media.